competes today for the first time in more than 4 years. And others like Suni Lee, a young star hoping to get there for the first time. The journey to Japan includes a stop in Indianapolis. NBC Sports welcomes you to the 2021 USA Gymnastics Winter Cup, presented by the Olympic Channel, home of Team USA. Well, the sports scene in downtown Indianapolis is about to get very busy, including the action this weekend inside the Indiana Convention Center. Welcome, everyone. Terry Gannon alongside the Olympic champs, Nastia Liukin, Tim Daggett. It's been a while since we've been to a major competition, just like the athletes, a little less than a year. But Nastia, for Laurie Hernandez, it's been a little longer than that. 4.5 years since we last saw her compete in Rio, and she's out there today.
She is out there, and she is just so thrilled to be back out there on that competition floor. In fact, just a few moments ago, she sent me a text message before they marched out, and she said, my coach is actually just so wanting me to have a great time. She's actually watered down my floor routine, meaning she's making it easier than I originally planned coming in here because she just wants me to have fun.
Would you be having fun at a comeback like that?
You know, it's a little stressful.
Yeah, I would think so. We have watched another young star, though, Suni Lee, the last couple of years really emerge, not only at the U.S. Championships, but also, Tim, at the World Championships.
Yeah, she's absolutely an unbelievable gymnast, but just like everybody else in the world, it hasn't been easy for Suni Lee. Her gym was shut down from March until June. She came back and almost immediately fractured her foot, an avulsion fracture that took her out. She said it was really tough and at times very depressing.
So the road kind of starts here, the revised road to Tokyo, not necessarily with a win today, although every time you do go out there and compete, you want to win, but your performance, kind of taking stock of where you are for the first time in a long time in a competition. So the warm-up continues here in Indianapolis as we get set for the women and the Winter Cup, but we do also want to tell you we're going to address and acknowledge that this has been an extremely difficult week for the sport of gymnastics, and we will have more on that coming up right after the first rotation. So guys, some of the top athletes that we expect to vie for spots in the Tokyo Olympics, and look, the fact is, for some time now, the U.S. team, no matter who makes up that team, they have been the best in the world, and it will not be easy getting one of those spots.
Absolutely not, you know, and in a year like this, there has been so much uncertainty and unknown, but even just being here at this competition, watching the training and the warm-ups, I mean, the depth is still so much there, and the competitive spirit, too, and we don't even have every single athlete that will be vying, of course. The greatest, Simone Biles,
yes,
is not here this weekend, but very much going to be in the picture.
And Tim, we're going to see her a number of times because we have a number of events leading up to the Tokyo Games.
Yes, absolutely we do. But, you know, you have to remember, as Nastia just pointed out, Team USA doesn't just have great athletes. They have a lot of them. And, you know, in my opinion, they could field not just one Olympic team, but at least two that would vie for medals, maybe even the gold medal. That's how deep and good the USA gymnastics program is right now.
All right, just about set to get underway here, and you look at the 18-year-old from Westerville, Ohio, Shilese Jones, future Florida Gator. Strong showings in 2018. She had top 5 finishes in the all-arounds at the U.S. Classic and the U.S. Championships. Athletes like everybody else, and it pales in comparison to what so many people have been dealing with, but training throughout this time, forget the competition, even training interrupted throughout since last early March. Here we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great vault. You know, good start for her. That landing, of course, that is something that we will be talking about really all day long. The judges have been a little strict this weekend at the Winter Cup earlier in the men's competition, but take a look. She gets great, just actually, I was going to say she missed the block a little bit, but still was able to get pretty high off of the table. Beautiful body position in the air and just that big hop.
Some people say her nickname is She Can Fly for Shalise, and she sure can on vault. Actually, on every single event, she is dynamic.
Protocols in place throughout the week here, and very few spectators, just parents allowed, and just a few of those in the building. So a different feel, no doubt, just like most of the competitions in other sports that we've been watching lately. Now, long wait for the number. There it is. Green is good, yellow okay, and you don't want to be in red. 14.55, the number for Shilese Jones. Over to Riley McCusker, another one of the top names from New Jersey. Had a big year, 2018, winning a world title with the U.S. squad, and then illness, some injuries after that, and coaching change and a change of training town as well.
She'll do the same vault we just saw. Oh boy, and I'll tell you what, so much improved. We had a chance to chat with her, and she said she actually likes vault nowadays. She used to not want to go there, but that was great.
You know, there's just like a sense of confidence and happiness that she has really, we've seen all week from her here. Little bit of form there.
But I would say for Riley, that vault is a big improvement of what she used to do. It helps that she trains with one of the best vaulters in the world every day, her teammate, Jade Carey.
So you see those two lines. Of course, she hopped out, so that will be a deduction.
Just a little help with the deductions, 1.6 or less in green, 1.7 to 2.3 in yellow, and 2.4 or more in red. So we'll show you those throughout as we check out the numbers. Riley now training in Phoenix, Arizona, along with Jade Carey. 14.05, the number on vault. And now Jade Carey, the 2019 World Silver medalist on vault. So two young women who train together, and she's mathematically already clinched an individual spot in the Olympics in Tokyo via the Apparatus World Cup Series. We'll talk more about that as we go.
Very difficult vault and different.
And that was great. As you mentioned, Tim, very difficult. And she just makes it look so easy, you know? And I think what makes it difficult, and there are so many half turns and twists involved that she does it so quickly. So let's take a look right here. First, she does a round off here, and then does a half turn. Front layout with a 1.5 twist. So you see how stretched open her body is, shoulders up on the landing. Big hop, of course, on the landing, but that was good.
And because it's so complicated, it has a higher maximum score than we'll see from anybody else in the competition. Typically, she competes two different vaults. There's no reason. I talked to her dad and Coach Brian before the competition. They said no reason to do two today, so only one.
Helped the U.S. win a team gold at the 2019 World Championships. And I mentioned that qualification mathematically clinched a spot. It hasn't, guys, officially been announced yet, but part of that World Cup Series, and she's going to be there.
Yeah, she's the first American.
Yep.
You know, and it's only a four-person team for all of the countries, and then there are up to 2 additional spots. Jade has one of them, and another spot was awarded to Team USA because of their placement at the World Championships.
So you see that little bucket of chalk that she has because of all of these new protocols.
Right.
Every single athlete has to have their own bucket of chalk, carrying it to each event.
And they need not just a mask, but a mask holder.
Bag.
Yeah, most have people right there to greet them with a mask as soon as they're done. Gets complicated these days. All right, take you over to the balance beam and the 17-year-old from St. Paul, Minnesota, who we mentioned in the Open, Suni Lee. Well, the last couple of years have been something else. The all-around silver medalist, the U.S. in 2019, went to the World Championships, part of that gold medal effort for the team, and a bronze on uneven bars, and a silver on floor. But it's all, in her mind, leading up to later this summer.
And, you know, we had a chance to speak with her before the competition and her coach, Jess. He said that she will be doing easier dismounts. Still kind of has those leg issues that have kind of plagued her throughout her career, just trying to be safe.
And, you know, the reason for that, too, not necessarily showing your highest level of difficulty here this weekend, is it's so early on in the season. They are not used to having an event like this early on, where the rest of the season is long. The Olympics are, of course, still months away.
And it's not just that it's early, but it's also a big meet. It's televised, it's on a podium, it's the first time anybody's seeing anyone for a year.
That delay because of the light. They were having trouble with that to cue her. Now ready.
Great patience on that first one because she was off.
And we've really talked about this all week long, but Tim, as you mentioned, it's been just about a year since they've been out on the competition floor like this. So a lot of it is that mental aspect of getting back out here again. Gorgeous connection.
That was
just
fantastic.
extremely difficult, 3 skills in a row.
The watered down, just a round-up layout. And that actually won't hurt her score as much as you might think with the way the rules are now.
So Suni Lee, the effort on beam. Even if you're a veteran, you think right now nerves really coming into play because you haven't competed in a while?
Oh, absolutely. I think nerves come in no matter how much of a veteran that you are. You know, every single time that you're out there on the competition floor, you're nervous. You want to do your best. You're especially Olympic year.
Yeah.
Every single time you're out there,
It's just
they're watching.
how you deal with the nerves. That's the whole thing. Everybody's feeling it.
All right, over to Jordan Childs on floor, the 19-year-old from Vancouver, Washington, trains in Spring, Texas now. Second in the all-around back in 2017 at the U.S. Championships. 6th last year.
Wow, that was incredible. Every single tumbling pass just sky high in the mount, full twisting double layout. She has a very famous training partner named Simone Biles, the greatest of all time, and some of Simone's tumbling is rubbing off on her. She's actually great in her own right. This is so hard. Double laid out somersault, and watch, she'll do a full twist right here as well. Oh, boy, that was great.
And here's that dismount. So double backflip in a pike position. So what you're looking for here, shoulders up, chest up on the landing. Hop back, but you know, as we mentioned, it is still so early on in the season. To have this kind of strength and endurance is extremely impressive, and she has really impressed a lot of people.
But that level of difficulty right there would certainly be at home at the Olympic Games, but not just that. That would suit very well in an Olympic final and challenge even.
How about the number for Suni Lee on beam? 14.25.
Little bit lower
That
than
mid-range area.
Yep.
As she becomes a fan now. Jordan Childs waiting for the number as we wait for Laurie Hernandez in that return. All these athletes haven't competed in almost a year. Well, it's been 4.5 years for the Olympic gold medalist, part of that team effort for the U.S. in Rio, and won silver on the balance beam. She is back to try to make it to Tokyo. Next on floor.
And as I mentioned earlier, she texted me literally a few seconds before they walked out. I was like, do you have your phone on you?
Should you not be focused right now on something?
And she said, you know, because this is my first meet, her coach Jenny said she took her full in out, she turned it into a double back, and then you'll see that. And of course, my last pass, you'll see a layout. So really, really doing an easier floor routine here, but an exciting one for here. When we talked to her last week, she actually cut the music, picked the music, choreographed this entire routine, and she was really excited and really proud to come out here and show it.
The number 13.6 for Jordan Childs, who is named after Michael Jordan. Had to make a decision with the delay of the Olympics. She's going to UCLA and thought about, oh, do I stay elite? Do I try to make it to Tokyo? But in the end, decided I could wait another year. So here is the return of Laurie Hernandez, 20 years of age, from Old Bridge, New Jersey.
Always known as a great dancer. She was so bubbly in the Olympics. This is very mature and very, very cool.
Well, you know, I think mission accomplished here for Laurie. Her goal for this weekend was really to get back out here on the competition floor and enjoy herself. And
What do you think? What did you think of the
I loved it.
Yeah, it was great,
I absolutely
right?
loved it.
Yeah. A lot of different stuff in there, but
Nastia, what do you think she was going through as she was about to start and during the early moments of that?
I think it's trying to listen to what she's saying. It's a lot harder with the masks on.
Yeah.
As you can see, she's trying to catch her breath, but there's so many different emotions, right? And obviously it's a competition not quite like any other one she's been in. No audience, no crowd, but she said that when we talked to her last week, even though there isn't going to be an audience, she's just so thrilled to be able to be out here doing something that she loves to do.
If you've forgotten, Lori Hernandez is a very bubbly person with a lot of energy. They called her the human emoji after Rio. Very nice start to the routine, an Arabian double front. She did water down the second pass to a double tuck, but she could have done the full in. It was great yesterday in training. Here it is. Very nicely done. Huge air. Absolutely.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, she didn't do the level of difficulty that she has been training when she has been doing her floor routines back at home. There's that third tumbling pass, a double pike, but the tumbling passes that she did do, she showed strength, confidence, power, and of course that personality, the dance that we've all missed from Lori being out there on the floor.
We need to see the smile, though.
I know.
Right?
She's smiling under the mask.
Yeah, exactly.
You can see it in her eyes.
Guys, she said that this Winter Cup is going to serve as just kind of dipping her toe in to see how it feels to compete again. But she also knows all eyes are on her.
She does, but then she also said, you know what? I'm doing this for myself. And I know a lot of people are doubting me. And to be completely honest, that's okay. Let them doubt me. I'm doing this literally for myself. I love the sport. I wanted to challenge myself. You heard her. She said that's pretty good with no last tumbling pass.
So we continue here in Indianapolis, 12.05, the number for Lori Hernandez and her first competition since the Rio Olympics back in 2016. The action taking place inside Indiana Convention Center here in downtown Indianapolis. We mentioned earlier it's been a tumultuous week for the gymnastics community, and we will have more on that right after this break.
Tasha, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Hip Hop Group Tag Team to help you plan dessert?
Fresh vanilla, rocky road, chocolate peanut butter cookie dough. Scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop that is, scoop shakalaka, 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 shaka, scoop shakalaka, shakalaka, shakalaka.
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
Taking care of your car is a responsibility. It ensures the long life of your car and its expensive components. That's why Lucas Oil takes automotive protection so seriously. Lucas heavy-duty oil stabilizer bonds with motor oil to shield engines from heat and wear. So take pride in caring for your car and pass that pride and knowledge to the next generation for years of smooth, reliable driving on the long road ahead. Trust Lucas Oil. It works.
We will continue our coverage of this 2021 Winter Cup from Indianapolis in a moment. But first, the news that has reverberated here and throughout the gymnastics community. On Thursday, the Michigan Attorney General filed 24 charges, including human trafficking and criminal sexual conduct, against John Geddert, the head coach of the gold medal winning 2012 Olympic gymnastics team, related to his treatment of athletes and his care over the course of a decade. Then, hours later, Geddert died by suicide at age 63. Geddert formerly owned and coached at the Twisters Gym in Michigan, where many of the hundreds of survivors of Dr. Larry Nassar's sexual abuse say they were assaulted and where it is alleged Gettert used the guise of coaching to subject minors to an environment of continued abuse. Gettert was also charged with lying to the police during their investigation into Nasser, who was the in-house doctor at Gettert's gym for nearly 20 years. These developments are the latest of the far-reaching ramifications in the nearly 5-year fallout from the Nasser sexual abuse case. In a statement, USA Gymnastics said in part, "We had hoped the criminal charges being brought against John Gettert would lead to justice through the legal process. We share the feelings of shock, and our thoughts are with the gymnastics community as they grapple with the complex emotions of this week's event." Reacting to the news, Ali Raceman, a survivor and member of the Olympic team Gettert coached in London, repeated her call for an independent investigation into USA Gymnastics, saying, "For an organization that has claimed for the past 15-plus years that athlete safety is the number one priority, it's impossible to imagine a greater failure." Michigan's Attorney General called Gettert's death a tragic end to a tragic story for everyone involved. We'll be back right after this.
4.
Real G's moving silence like sourdough. So if you didn't know, the Sourdough King is back at Burger King with flame grilled beef, sizzling bacon, and ooey gooey cheese stuffed between 2 toasted sourdough buns. The Sourdough King and Sourdough Breakfast King. Your way. Camera action.
Are you ready for some action?
The LPGA is back. Tonight on Golf.
Youth sports safety should always be a top priority. We thank USA Wrestling, United States Bowling Congress, and USA Artistic Swimming for their commitment to youth safety. Learn how you can keep kids safe at sportsengine.com/safety.
We welcome you back to Indianapolis and the Winter Cup, the first premier event by USA Gymnastics in almost 12 months. As we continue here, looking ahead to the second rotation, Terry Gannon, Nastia Liukin, and Tim Daggett talking about athletes who were maybe a little disappointed and then had to rededicate themselves after the delay in the Olympics. How about Connor McLean, who is 16 years of age and was 32 days too late when she was born to be eligible for the 2020 games, and now the 2021 version, if you will. They put in a rule, she's eligible now.
She is eligible, and that really takes a huge spin on your training plan, both physically and mentally. When you have that big year in the back of your head, like it was 2008 for many, many years, all of a sudden that changes. It's a lot to take in, both for herself, for her coach, to change the training plan. But you know what? If anyone can do it, I mean, she was one of those that was so capable as a junior, and here she is finding herself in the mix.
Back when she was 11 years old, she was on TV talking about the 2024 Olympics. That's what I'm going to get to. I'm training for that. That all changed with the delay, and now she has an opportunity. It'll be tough, but an opportunity to make a run at that team, gaining one of the spots for the Tokyo Olympics. So we continue here, second rotation about to get underway when we come back in downtown Indianapolis.
Local businesses are the heart and soul of our communities. They give thanks. They make a difference. They go the extra mile. They've always been there for us. It's time for us to return the favor, because where you shop matters. Visa, everywhere you want to be.
Take a look. What we're going to do now is we're going to show you a video.
Big test right here. And there it is!
This was me trying not to cry.
I feel like I feel all the feels.
That was a special moment.
I had to kind of control my emotions. Then I look up and I'm like, oh man!
This is when it hits home.
Back to tell you, get ready. Something is about to make contact. The world will be watching television's next big event. Debris arrives Monday on NBC. Chilly, but pretty nice afternoon here in Indianapolis. Jordan Childs had that effort on floor a few moments ago, and there were people watching. How about the text that came in to her coach? Look at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, it's from Simone. Not bad.
Very, very cool.
Of course, not here this weekend, but still tuning in, watching, and cheering on her teammates.
Top part of that was about Leah Smith, who won the Nastia Lukin Cup, which took place yesterday here in Indianapolis. They all trained together down in Texas.
Yeah, we talked about this a lot, really, yesterday, but you know those days where you go in as an athlete and whether it's you're sore, you're tired, whatever that is, and then you turn to your side and you see somebody like a Simone Biles. I mean, that has to be inspiring and motivating, just to say the least.
Well, you can't feel sorry for yourself.
Right.
You're like, oh, okay.
And you're all in it together, right?
Yeah.
You're all having so many teammates, and that's what's been so great watching this club, and you know, with Jordan here.
You know, though, we had a chance to talk with her before the event as well, and one of her comments really struck me. She says, what would be a success for me is to go out and show 100% of myself. I don't think anyone has ever seen it. She wants to be the best that she can be, and she says she's never shown that before. So far, so good.
Guys, we're talking about Riley McCusker and that move to Phoenix now to train and a change of coaches. She was coached by Maggie Haney for most of her life, and in April of 2020, Haney was suspended for 8 years, later reduced to 5 by USA Gymnastics after a hearing. There were accusations against Haney from several gymnasts, ranging from emotional abuse to forced training through injuries. She's made that move now and trades along with Jade Carey, and she says, I actually love gymnastics again. It's like a new lease on life. I love going to the gym every day.
Well, you can see it on her face, you know, just being out here, and you know, she always has kind of been an athlete that has been so serious and so focused and stoic, but just from event to event, even just standing here, you see her joking with Jade, and in the relationship that they have together as teammates, new teammates, training every day, of course, being on the national team together, but it has just been so great to see the energy and the life in Riley here. They actually have a special handshake that they created to do at this competition. We'll see if we get a glimpse of it or not.
Tim, it's an individual sport, but until you get to a world championship, the Olympics and whatnot, and then you're part of a team as well. But that aspect of being a part of a team has got to be crucial for those who are lucky enough to have it.
There's no question about it, and she is a better gymnast because of it. She acknowledges she's better today than she would have been last year. She said it was really a couple of miserable years of training where she came from before, but so happy. And you know, the thing about Riley and her team, there you go. We got it right there.
Ask and you shall receive.
On camera.
The thing about Riley is she has been known throughout the years for her grace, unbelievable bars, fabulous balance beam, but not as powerful on vaulting and floor, whereas Jade is the exact opposite gymnast. They really complement each other.
Finished high school in the summer of 2019, eventually headed to the University of Florida.
Coming up next on Ball for World Champions will be Jordan Child.
She has got just a ton of stuff. This is the really tricky one right here. If she pulls it off, and oh, it's supposed to go right back up to the high bar, but still fantastic.
You did a little safe there. Oh, going for those handstands.
Has changed her dismount.
You know, for this early on in the season, Tim, you know, we've seen her in training. We have seen her, of course, post this routine on social media, and she has just looked so great. But I think this is exactly what she wanted to do, really go out there, have a hit routine. So look at this, huge release. And then she does another one that is followed it right away down to the low bar. And this is where she was supposed to connect the next skill there, so it won't be deduction for not connecting it. She just would have received more bonus had she connected that one.
But just absolute beautiful. Great struggle right there, keeps her composure. She used to do a dismount that was a little nervy for her. Head coach Brian Carey changed it up, and I think it was a great decision. She did take a big step there, but it's going to be much more stable for her.
So over to vault, and Jordan Childs was terrific on floor a few moments ago, and now to vault, where she won a silver medal at the U.S. Championships back in 2018.
Wow.
Another, that one was out of the park.
Yeah.
That is about as clean as I've ever seen her be. Coach Laurent Landy.
You know, when we think about this last year, and of course the Olympics being delayed, and she might be one of the, just look at the form, beautiful, just floats in the air. Absolutely gorgeous.
She looks better to me here.
That's kind of what I was getting
have ever
at.
seen
Yeah,
her.
absolutely.
And not by a little, by a lot.
Where mentally it might have been a little bit challenging knowing that, you know, all these athletes now have an extra year to train for the Olympics, but for Jordan, I think that this is the best thing that has ever happened to her career.
Because she really did have doubts. She said she waited until her birthday, April 15th, and the first person she told that she was going to defer another year was Simone Biles.
14.65 on uneven bars for Riley McCusker, and now she stands and cheers for Jade Carey.
And this routine right here is completely remade. Jade has, if she can pull this off, it would be unbelievable. The amount of skills that she has added from the last time we saw her compete is just astounding.
Well, that is quite a buildup.
First one right here actually doesn't do the first major upgrade. Really nice.
Gorgeous.
That's a new skill as well. Has a very difficult dismount that she's capable of doing. Double twisting, double somersault. Nope, she's not going to do it.
Would that be your plan coming into this competition, having not competed in so long, to maybe scale it back some?
Well, I think for so many of these athletes, they have skills that they really want to get back out there and try them on the podium at a competition like this. But at the same time, it is so early on in the season. You want to also be safe. It's an Olympic year, and if you're not quite feeling ready to perform them at the end of your routine, no reason to do it here at the Winter Cup.
How's Jordan Childs doing? 14.9, that number on vault. Over to Sky Blakely, the 2019 U.S. Junior silver medalist on beam, and one of those young stars, 16 years of age.
Personally, I was a little disappointed when I heard that she would not be doing the all-around today. I love her gymnastics. She has a lightness about how she works. It's so pleasing to the eye.
Another one of those who turned 16 and was, 35 days too young to compete last summer, but eligible this time around.
Really good.
Big skill right here, standing full. Gorgeous.
Another one in combination, front handspring front. Talking about Jordan Childs and where she trains alongside Simone Biles. This guy comes from a very famous gym as well, Woga in Texas. Olympic all-around gold medalist Carly Patterson, and then of course Nastia Liukin.
Who?
For not being out on the competition floor for so long, and now all of a sudden being a senior athlete in the mix for the Olympic team. I have to say that she has shown quite the confidence. That was great.
Absolutely fabulous. Two gigantic skills, that tuck full in the beginning and then a front handspring front. Really nice.
Saw her sister Sloan compete yesterday in the Nastia Liukin Cup. Jade Carey, by the way, 13.7, the number. You see the deductions, 1.9.
Yeah, that was the issue.
But that's a vast improvement for Jade.
16-year-old from San Jose, California. Sienna Libio. She's a junior in high school at Laurel Springs High.
Sienna Olympia of Midwest hot floor exercise.
Great routine there. A little not as difficult as some of the other routines that we have seen.
So many of the, especially the young gymnasts here, just trying to take stock of where they are compared to some of the big names in American gymnastics and in the world competing today. Sky Blakely on B, 14.5. There you go.
Yeah, very big number. The biggest we've seen so far. Second best, 14.25 from Suni Lee.
And now Connor McLean, 16-year-old from Cross Lanes, West Virginia.
Now on B for Revolution, Connor McLean. Kelly Strell of Future Gym Academy, Iowa.
You guys, we talk about taking stock here. It's not only for the younger gymnasts, but some of the big names too, maybe not doing every event and not in the mix for the all-around, but again, trying to see where they are after a year away from competition.
She has got a jam-packed routine starting right here. Standing Arabian. Oh, actually changed up the order on me a little bit. That's her full.
Wow.
Oh. That was huge. Wow.
She was just on the floor, tumbling. Brody, beautiful skill, one of my favorites. Really just flows from one skill into the next dance move, the whole entire routine. Just absolutely gorgeous. Difficult, a little off there.
You know, we keep talking, obviously, about the pandemic and how it has affected all of the different athletes. You know, for some it's been, you know, not good at all, but for her, really put her into the running to qualify for an Olympic Games 3 years earlier than she was shooting for. She has always said 2024 was the goal.
I mentioned she was 11 on TV saying that, and that was to Steve Harvey on Little Big Shots. She said, yeah, 2024, I'm going to be at the Olympics. Write it down.
So just amazing difficulty, really wonderful work, poise throughout. This is a standing back, but she'll do a full twist, so a flip with a full twist. Really nicely done. Look at her eyes. They are like laser beams down to the beam.
And look at this combination pass that she does right here. So a lot of people can't do this pass, but the way that she does it, it's like so, like as if she is just tumbling on the floor exercise. People try to do it, but they don't quite get that high in the air.
Yeah, that was
It
huge
was amazing.
air. As is this right here. Really nice bounce, double pike, just a little bit over-rotated, step back, but I tell you what, she is magnificent.
Huge air, A-I-R, not E-R-R-O-R.
But you know what? Everybody needs to put her on that list. As you start looking ahead towards the Tokyo Olympic Games, she just did really great things for her on her quest for an Olympic spot.
Well, if they don't have her on her list, they are very poorly informed.
Sienna Olympio, 12.7, that number. How many names realistically are on that list right now?
Well, and you got to remember, it's 4 for the team. The USA Gymnastics will get to name an additional athlete, but there are at least 10.
Well, there's one spot taken.
Yes, it is. Barring really the only thing, it would have to be.
Don't even go.
Yes, exactly. She's just.
And still doing new things that nobody's ever done. Still coming up, Simone Biles with things that, oh, really? You're going to do that? Connor waits for the number. It's one thing that hasn't changed even this year, that weight and how excruciating that can be. 14, even 14 There's the deduction on balance beam for the 16-year-old Connor McClain as we continue.
Condos 150K. Sorry, bud. Thanks.
Switch to Progressive and you can save hundreds. You know, like the sign says.
All right. Back to work.
Reese's eggs are back and we hit them somewhere you'll never find. Psych! We put them everywhere. Grocery stores and supermarkets, gas stations and chiropractors' offices, bowling alleys and grocery stores, which we already mentioned. Not sorry, Reese's.
This is the gap that opened up when everything shut down. But entrepreneurs never stopped and found solutions that kept them going. At US Bank, we can help you adapt and evolve your business, no matter what you're facing. Because when you close the gap, a world of possibility opens. US Bank, we'll get there together.
Ballin'. On a budget? Try the new $1 Your Way menu at Burger King, featuring a flame-grilled bacon cheeseburger. Value this good is hard to find anywhere else. The new $1 Your Way menu, now at Burger King. Your way, way better.
Back at the Winter Cup here in Indianapolis as we continue. Terry Gannon, Nastia Lukin, and Tim Daggett. And again, as Alana Kratzer, 17-year-old from Sewanee, Georgia, gets set. Today, you can say it other times, athletes kind of rationalize that at times. Today really is about seeing where you are right now and sizing yourself up against the competition, not necessarily going after an all-around win. Nastia, is there a certain event where a lack of a crowd affects you more than others?
Oh, I think absolutely the floor exercise, and really I think pretty much every single event, you know, you're out there and you're really feeding and fueling from that audience. When you're a little bit tired, you need that extra push, you need the endurance might not be there. The adrenaline rush sometimes comes from the crowd, so you know it's very much of a different experience for all of these athletes. On top of that, just not even being on the competition floor in over a year.
I think we need a little fake audience screaming.
You can do that from our booth over here. Alana Kratzer, the 17-year-old. We'll be back to Indianapolis in a moment.
Ready? Let's go.
What a beautiful sight.
Taking your speed up. Let's go. Come on.
We're going to take it to a jab cross. Great WOD, guys.
Take the lead here.
Nordic Track.
the home of interactive personal training.
4.
Then 5.
Infinity, the future of awesome.
We've all felt this gap, the distance between what is and what could be. While he's tapping into his passion, the U.S. Bank mobile app can help you tap your way to your savings goals without missing a beat. So you can feed his passion. Earplugs not included. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together.
Hey, I'm Olympic champion Lori Hernandez. My specialty is the balance beam. So, is it possible to do a front flip with a full twist on the balance beam?
Back in Indianapolis, Lori Hernandez saw her on floor a short time ago, the 20-year-old, as the comeback continues. Gold medalist, silver medalist from the Rio Olympics. She gets set for her next apparatus as we send it back now to the studio for an update.
Welcome to the U.S. Bank NBC Sports Report.
Hello once again, glad you're with us. Ahmed Fareed inside our NBC Sports studios. We'll start with golf and some highlights of the second round of the WGC Workday Championship at the Concession Golf Club in Florida. Pick it up on the par 4 18th. Colin Morikawa with a look at birdie from 37 feet. He drains it. Part of an 8 under 64. He's tied for second. Entering the day, he's trailing this guy coming up. Brooks Koepka here with the second shot on the par 4 16th. Sticks this one super close. Can't get much closer. No surprise, he would tap in for birdie. 66 for Koepka. Leads the tournament by 1 shot, so everyone chasing Koepka. Third round coverage of the WGC Workday Championship at the Concession continues today at 2:30 right here on NBC. Skiing now. American Breezy Johnson was in the hunt for a downhill season title until a crash today took her out of contention. Laura Gut-Barami of Switzerland. She ended up winning her second downhill in a row this weekend. She's taken the lead in the World Cup overall standings now. She has won 8 races, including 2 gold medals at Worlds in the last 7 weeks. She's on a roll. Men's slalom. Croatian Filip Zubcic. He won the race. He was second after the first run, but a stellar run in run number 2 led him to the win. It's his 3rd career win, second of the season. Now puts him in contention for a giant slalom season title, as it's down now to a 3-man race. That's it for now in studio. More from the U.S. Gymnastics Winter Cup coming up after the break.
This has been the U.S. Bank NBC Sports Report.
Lucas Complete Engine Treatment is a multifunctional cleaner plus lubricant from the labs at Lucas Oil Products. It's designed for use in both engine oil and fuel systems. It also cleans and lubricates the entire gas or diesel fuel system, from the tank to injectors. It contains special Lucas additives that cause the fuel to burn thoroughly and helps increase your miles per gallon. Expect longer engine life, longer oil life, cleaner exhaust, and less fuel consumption. Lucas Oil Complete Engine Treatment.
Bender, take one.
Tonight's matchup, me versus an ugly fender bender. If I can eke out a win, it's going to be a miracle, baby.
Mr. Vitale, it wouldn't be a miracle because Geico gives you a team of experts to help manage your claim.
It's going to be a nail biter.
No, the Geico team is there for you 24/7.
Geico is awesome, baby. Too much?
I think we got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Geico. Great service without all the drama.
Back here in Indianapolis, a city that has hosted the U.S. Championships 4 different times and the American Cup back in the 80s. The American Cup was the last major event before the shutdown, a little less than a year ago. Jordan Childs getting set. for uneven bars.
The first vault? No, like the whole thing. The first vault or? The first girl on vault?
Trying to figure out the order of the logistics of when she's going to be going.
So, you know, in gymnastics, the Olympics is everything. And a lot of athletes try to not think about it. And at one point in time, I asked her, what about you, Jordan? And she said, honestly, I think about it at least 3 or 4 times a day.
I remember that. Yeah, she talked about it.
But I mean, Tim, you had to have thought about it, right?
Actually, I'm amazed when they say they don't.
I was just about to say, there's no way that you really can't. If that is your goal, how are you not thinking about that goal at least once a day, right?
That is what everything is leading up to.
Yep.
Mentioned that last competition in early March. There was one other competition for a few athletes, the Friendship and Solidarity competition in Tokyo, and a couple of the athletes here, Charlize Jones, MJ Frazier, a part of that. But other than that, there has been no major event since. And you just, as an athlete, as a gymnast, you don't go ever that long without competing.
Yeah, not just competing, but the amount of time that so many of these athletes had to be out of the gym completely.
Yeah. She
you know,
said
you
it was,
normally don't even take more than a weekend off at the most.
She said it was 9 weeks for her, and they did a lot of Zoom workouts. She's actually really good on this event, does a lot of tricky combinations. Kind of cool right here. She's going to connect this right into another release. Very nicely done.
You know, and she's just having the day that she has been. We've watched her in training, right? And we have said if somebody has benefited from this extra year, it has been her. And it's not just her skills, but it is just the confidence. It is the level of just overall. I don't even know like how to explain it, because she is just out here really trying to prove that she belongs on that team. Look at this right here. So normally you see this release move going the other way, but she does it towards the low bar, in my opinion, a little bit scary. And you have to wonder too, you know, the confidence that she has shown here, being able to train with Simone, being able to train with Cecile and Laurent, and that's gotta add to something, right? Just being.
Well, yeah, she's showing it. It adds up to a lot. You know, she also said that she was very unhappy with gymnastics. 3 years ago, I lost the love for the sport, but with my new coaches and Simone, I found it again, and it shows.
Give her a chance to heal a wrist injury, too. Got surgery for that, torn ligaments, and that's part of what a lot of the athletes went through. Jaden Carey now.
Coming up on ball for Prestige will be Addison Data.
Combination right here. Great.
Beautiful.
Wow. So we mentioned that Jade is the only person, the only American to have already clinched a spot mathematically to go to the Olympics, and she did it through an individual event, but at the Olympics she will be allowed to do all 4 events. And I'll tell you what, she is coming. She looks phenomenal and so improved on her week or 2 events, and still phenomenal on her best 2.
And bars and beam really used to be the two events that she just kind of wanted to get through. But wow, this Jade Carey isn't just getting through. She is really showing everybody that she belongs on all 4 events out there. She's always been considered a specialist. She said, I'll take that.
If she waits for the number, we get the number on uneven bars for Jordan Chiles, 14.05, again in green. Tom Forster, look at him, the women's high performance team coordinator.
Yeah, and I got a chance to talk to him right before the competition started, and he said clearly most of the athletes are using this meet for experience rather than, trying to get their spot on the national team, but it is so unusual for them to be on TV this early in the year. But he said, honestly, I'm truly just happy to see them live instead of on Zoom.
I think a lot of people feel the same way. Yep. All right. Over to bars and Olivia Greaves, the 16-year-old from Staten Island, New York. It's been a tough year for her. She contracted COVID back in late March, early April, then had a torn meniscus, needed surgery on her knee, didn't get back to the gym until September.
Good routine there. Struggled a little bit on that dismount. Didn't quite get the rotation. And again, being so early on in the season, it's really about getting that endurance back, doing the numbers.
Disappointed look on her face. The junior in high school set to graduate in the spring of 2022 and eventually headed to the University of Florida.
Told us before the competition that she really felt like her cardio was a little behind, and that's what she's working on, getting that endurance back.
Her mom owns a gym, and it's how she got started in gymnastics when she was basically just a few months old. So the number on the way for Olivia Greaves. Get the number now for Jade Carey, 13.55 on the balance beam as we continue from the Winter Cup.
A lot of people think they know their credit, but did you know you have more than 28 FICO scores? And yet we pretend that one score from a free app is what lenders actually look at. It's not. So let me ask, do you really know your credit? You know how to improve it, how to protect it? Don't worry. That's why there's Extra Credit. Don't settle for a free credit app. Get the most comprehensive credit solution ever created. Extra Credit at credit.com.
Think you're managing your moderate to severe ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease? I did, until I realized something was missing. Me. My symptoms were keeping me from being there for him. So I talked to my doctor and learned Humira is for people who still have UC or Crohn's symptoms after trying other medications. And Humira helps people achieve remission that can last, so you can experience few or no symptoms.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections. Serious and sometimes fatal infections, including tuberculosis and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Be there for you and them. Ask your gastroenterologist about Humira. With Humira, remission is possible.
This is the gap that opened up when everything shut down. But entrepreneurs never stopped and found solutions that kept them going. At US Bank, we can help you adapt and evolve your business, no matter what you're facing. Because when you close the gap, a world of possibility opens. US Bank. We'll get there together.
Back with a look at the total for Olivia Greaves, who was the U.S. Junior champ on uneven bars back in 2019, stepping up to the next level. And already getting set for the next event as we take you over to floor and the 18-year-old Emma Malabuyo.
And I'm really excited to see this. She has been such a bright star, but has been just hampered by injury after injury. Saw her on the start list, was excited, and talked to her coach, Kim Zmeskal. Said everything's going well. Oh boy. Oh boy, started out very nice, but then in the middle really short on that full twisting double back, putting her hands down, and then again on the dismount, not quite back in the shape that I've seen her perform. But I'm just glad to see her out here today.
18-year-old from California is down in Flower Mound, Texas now training.
With that woman right there, Kim Zmeskal, world champion in the all-around herself, one of the greats for not just USA Gymnastics, but world gymnastics.
To the balance beam we go. The 18-year-old Chilese Jones getting ready. Mentioned she was one of 3 athletes who did get a chance to compete over the last 12 months. The Friendship and Solidarity competition in Tokyo.
Big element right here. Oh, great. Standing Arabian.
Again, just beautiful. So composed. Best beam workers in the world. That's exactly what we see for them, as if they're just performing these skills not on a 4-inch wide balance beam. Really great routine, just the dismount. 2 back handsprings, double pike.
Oh,
wow.
That was great, super high.
Speaking of high, you take it from the gym to competition. How much of a difference does it make being elevated?
You know, I honestly thought it made quite a bit of a difference, and you're used to being a little bit closer to, say, your coaches, the other athletes, right? So it's definitely a mental change when you're on the balance beam. Maybe not so much as the other events.
But the podium bounces. as well. And so you combine that, the beam bounces, and now on top of a bouncy surface, so it does help.
Get the score in just a moment for Shilese Jones after that effort on beam. We've been talking about the greatest of all time, not here, but certainly training, coming up with new things that will be named after her, and that's taken place over the course of many years, Nastia.
And of course, that first one, the first bio she ever did, and then they just kept coming.
Look at this, double twisting, double somersault. It's just ridiculous.
And you know, of course, she is the absolute best in the world. She's only competing against herself. Did it again here at the World Championships.
And that gets it named after her, as is this one. Unthinkable. Triple twisting, double somersault. Lots of controversy surrounding some of her upgrades. The international governing body of sport not giving it the credit that it deserves.
So not only, but take a look at this. Never been done on the women's side in the world. A Yurchenko double pike, and just could almost do another flip out of that. That's just absolutely insane.
Incredible. And you know what? If they value that the way they should, I believe she could go to the Olympic Games, fall on that vault, and still be the Olympic champion.
Some of the other notable names not competing here, including Grace McCallum, Morgan Hurd, a world champ, and it just gives you some idea of how deep and talented this U.S. team is going to be and how difficult it's going to be to actually pick a team. And we will see those top names at a number of events leading up to the Olympics. The U.S. Classic in May, U.S. Championships in June, later in June, the U.S. team trials, and eventually the top names in Tokyo. But no disrespect to anybody else, it is a treat to be able to watch in any sport an athlete that you can truly call the greatest of all time.
And she is unequivocally the greatest of all time. I suppose there might be one or two people in the world that don't agree with that at this point in time.
You don't know who they are, but there might be, yeah.
But they're wrong. I mean, she pushes gymnastics to a level that is shocking. Shocking.
Miley McCusker getting set on beam, but it has an effect certainly on everybody in the world who's involved in gymnastics, but definitely on the U.S. athletes.
Whoa,
whoa,
boy. Big mistake there. You grab the beam.
Posing herself, it's so difficult starting off your beam routine, that first element with a mistake like that. To shake it off and almost pretend it didn't happen, which of course isn't easy to do.
So critical to get back on track and stay, get your mind exactly in the moment again. Dismount, two back handsprings into a double tuck. And that's unusual.
Yeah, you know, I was just about to say, it looked like she had enough height in the air and of course rotation. It was almost like she was going for the stick, maybe playing it a little bit safe, but...
Yeah, because she, you know, sometimes doesn't have quite the power that other gymnasts have on that, but that one was technically great and got a lot of height, just let up at the end, and you know, that's a big deduction. That's a full point.
Laurie Hernandez continues to get ready. We head to the fourth and final rotation here at the Winter Cup. High-level event taking place here in downtown Indianapolis right after this break.
So who climbs ladders to clean their gutters?
Dad, I keep telling you it's dangerous.
Climbing ladders is too dangerous. Leaf Filter puts an end to that.
So how does it work?
Leaf Filter's three-piece system filters out leaves and debris, letting water flow through freely.
Do we need to replace our gutters?
Great question. Leaf Filter could be installed right on top of your existing gutters. We're sold. Call 833-LEAF-FILTER or go to getleaffilter.com for your free gutter inspection and estimate.
So if you didn't know, the Sourdough King is back at Burger King with flame grilled beef, sizzling bacon, and ooey gooey cheese stuffed between 2 toasted sourdough buns. The Sourdough King and Sourdough Breakfast King. Your way, way better.
Do we really need a sign to live, laugh, and love?
Yes.
The answer is no. I can help new homeowners not become their parents.
Kiana.
Nope. Chloe Noah. No. Joaquin. No. It just takes practice. Give it a shot. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
It's a constant battle. We're going to open a PDF. Who's next?
Progressive can't save you from becoming your parents, but we can save you money when you bundle home and auto with us.
No fussin', no cussin', and no.
Captain Glenn takes command of a first-class new crew.
Oh, this is embarrassing.
Who will be the first to snap?
Damn it!
Catch the Below Deck Sailing Yacht Marathon Monday before the season premiere at 9, only on Bravo. Set your DVR now.
Hi, I'm Nick Jonas, and I'll be the host and musical guest this week on SNL.
Kid, this is your big night.
If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
It's your big shot.
Don't blow it. I think I've kind of like already made it because I'm a very successful music artist. Exactly. That's a great attitude.
Fake it till you make it. Going places.
Back at the Winter Cup here in downtown Indianapolis, and the Gin Miss getting ready for the fourth and final rotation here. This high-level competition taking place. Terry Gannon back alongside Nastia Lukin and Tim Daggett. So we haven't seen one of these in a while. What's your takeaway so far? Who stands out?
Yeah, I think so far so good. For me, it's Connor McLean. I mean, she comes into this competition and this new Olympic year for her, all of a sudden age eligible for the Olympics. She thought it was going to be 2024 for her, and she is out there really just showing that she's doing the same gymnastics, but just with the senior athletes. So no big deal, basically, is what she's saying.
Still said, hey, look, it'd be a bonus. All right, I didn't expect it. Still looking at 2024, but that's a bonus that might come her way. How about you, Tim? Who stands out?
Jordan Childs is having a phenomenal competition. Really looks new to the sport of gymnastics. Has an energy about her we haven't seen. Also, Jade Carey, I am a huge super fan. She is fantastic and has looked great. Super improvements on our weaker events.
Coming into the weekend, everyone wanted to know, all right, what are we going to see from Laurie Hernandez? How about that comeback? Can you come back when you haven't competed in over 4.5 years? What do you make of what you've seen?
You know, I think she's out here doing what her goal was, and it was really just to get back out on the competition floor. It has been so long for her getting here on the podium. She loves gymnastics. She's so happy again to be out here. So I think mission accomplished for her so far.
All right, one more rotation to go here at the Winter Cup as we continue our coverage here in Indianapolis in a moment.
We've all felt this gap, the distance between what is and what could be. While he's tapping into his passion, the U.S. Bank mobile app can help you tap your way to your savings goals without missing a beat, so you can feed his passion. Earplugs not included. U.S. Bank. We'll get there together.
On Her Turf presents the Secret Dream Gap Tour. Don't miss a moment as the best players in the world face off live next Saturday on NBCSN.
Back to remind you, beginning July 2021, the Olympic Games return live from Tokyo on NBC. Athletes here hoping to be there. We'll be there, calling the action. Connor McLean, perhaps. And we just talked about her. She's the athlete who has stood out to you so far.
She really has. I mean, it's not just her gymnastics, but even just the way that she is carrying herself here. Again, an Olympic year, not being prepared to be age eligible for an Olympics just a few months away. Beautiful.
Really nicely done. That double twisting laid out Yurchenko, makes it look easy. Coach Susan Brown, longtime family friend.
Again, look at her body position in the air, completely straight, very controlled landing.
And she's able to do that because she gets a very nice bounce or rebound off the table.
Get her number in a moment. Meanwhile, Lori Hernandez just about set for her effort on beam.
Now on beam for gymnast Lori Hernandez.
Did you get a text from her? Is she going to do a dismount?
Not during the competition, just before the competition.
She actually did. Not going to bring it up again.
Oh my
but...
gosh.
And you see that she always places her hand right over her stomach before she goes. It calms her. One of her trademark marks as well as "you got this."
Complete control there. You know, it's sometimes it feels as if we've watched some of these gymnasts compete for such a long time, but in this comeback might seem like it's crazy for Lori because she's spent so much time out of the gym and it's been so long since we've seen her since Rio, but she's actually 2 weeks younger than Jade Carey, who obviously is one of the top gymnasts in the world.
Yeah.
So just putting that in perspective, it's not crazy to see her back out here doing gymnastics again.
We've seen her though doing a lot of different things, Dancing with the Stars, of course. Whole bunch of
book.
Yes, she did. Actually, 2, I believe. Oh, big dismount. Round off double pike. I was wondering about that.
You know what? And that right there was a big routine for her.
Like I wasn't like, I'm so helped. I feel good.
Yes. This is so good. Huh? Really clean, really calm, and follow the rhythm going. Just like music. When the music is coming up, you just look at the enjoy.
Oh.
That's great.
So cool. So cool.
Thank you.
Jenny has been on this stage before herself as well. She was coach of the great champion Kyla Ross.
Can you ask them to turn down the music for a moment so we can listen in? You know, you talk about her age. I mean, she was the youngest member of that U.S. team in Rio at the age of 16. She's only 20 years old now.
And here's that dismount. So a double pike, one step on the landing. And as I said, you know, this score that she is going to get really doesn't matter for Lori. This was about, once again, we see all of her emotions and reactions that we are so used to seeing, but
The human emoji, remember?
for her to just be back out here, and not to mention that's a pretty good score, but for her to be out here, she said she felt so calm.
I know you. Hello, old friend.
Great to have her
Old
back
friend.
here. So solid number on beam for Lori Hernandez. Connor McLean, 14.7 on vault. Having a terrific day here in Indy.
Finally moved in.
It's a great old house. Good bones, wraparound porch.
The pipes are making strange noises. Even the plumbers couldn't help us.
Nope.
At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
Which saves us a ton.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Reese's eggs are back and we hit them somewhere you'll never find. Psych! We put them everywhere. Grocery stores and supermarkets, gas stations and chiropractors' offices, bowling alleys and grocery stores, which we already mentioned.
Tina and I are back hosting the Golden Globes. The stakes have never been lower. If we play our cards right, it might be the last awards show ever.
The Golden Globe Awards, live Sunday on NBC.
You need this as much as we do.
Back in Indianapolis, well, if you're a gymnastics fan, you know the name Diane Durham. Got some sad news earlier this month when she passed away at the age of 52. Durham became the first black woman to win a U.S. all-around title back in 1983 and leaves behind quite a legacy. And Tim, I know you were a contemporary. She had quite the impact.
Oh, she was such a wonderful person, a fantastic athlete, such a bright light in the gymnastics community. Untimely injury kept her off that 1984 team, but she's already missed. I can assure you that.
All right, to floor now, and the 18-year-old who was born in Seattle calls Westerville, Ohio home, Shilese Jones.
Wow. The power, the difficulty in that routine was incredible, starting from that first tumbling past him.
Yeah, some originality there. You don't see this very often. I don't believe this has a name, so if she did it in an international meet, could be named after her. This is a double back with 1.5 twists. Done very nicely as she puts a little exclamation mark with a big smile.
And now Suni Lee, the 2019 world bronze medalist on uneven bars. That was quite a trip to the World Championships for her. Part of the team effort, but multiple medals there.
Terry, I've been waiting for this routine all day. She is like a little kid on a playground here, and she has the ability to do so many of the most difficult skills being done in the world today. Head coordinator Tom Forster told me, he said, I wish she would stop posting all this stuff. Right from the top. Gorgeous combination. Release.
So effortless.
And here's another release. Goodness. She gets to Tokyo, certainly a medal, if not gold medal contender on this event. She is stellar.
Remember how good she was at the 2019 U.S. Championships. I'm not going to say she came out of nowhere. You knew about her, but you weren't thinking about the finish that she would have. The surprise all-around silver medal there, and she hasn't stopped. And she did that, by the way, with a small fracture in her leg, remember.
Yeah, and I mean, just spectacular. As you mentioned, Tom probably not wanting her to post because you want to kind of keep that a secret from the other countries. But look at that release move right there. Immediately right back down to the low bar. Two difficult skills, but then done in combination.
That is really
just incredible.
Outrageous, I'll tell you.
Right back up to the high bar. But, you know, this is what makes it so hard is everything is connected back to back.
Back to back to back to back right here. Nice. Gienger, she's phenomenal. She has 3 different routines, her coach Jess says. This one's pretty good. Might be a keeper.
I would take that one. She would too. What a just great routine.
And I'm a little surprised because they told us she wasn't going to do that dismount. We spoke to them before the meet. She was only going to do a simple dismount.
You got it.
Get her score in a moment. 12.95 on floor for Shilese Jones.
Get it.
This should be a very, very big score on uneven bars.
And not only the execution, but also if we look at that maximum score, it is just huge. So we talk about the risk and the reward and taking that risk, and Suni is just one of those athletes that really is able to do both. She does take that risk, but the execution is just as impressive, really, as the level of difficulty.
Graduating high school the week of the U.S. Championships, committed to Auburn, but might have a competition or two along the way before that. So there you go, 15.05 on bars.
Well deserved.
You see that maximum score, 16.5. That's huge.
Yeah.
Come on, Addie.
Terrific. So Laurie Hernandez, that comeback continues, but it's not the only comeback right now of an Olympic medalist taking place. How about Chelsea Memel, what she's doing? 2005, the World Championships, the slimmest of margins over... Okay, I won't say the name.
No, that's okay. I mean, so incredible to just be able to watch her on this journey right now, and she just truly loves the sport, has so much passion for it.
She just loves the sport.
She really does. I'm honestly in awe, just totally in awe of her.
Comeback kind of started as an inside joke within the family, and then the more she trained, started to feel it. Yeah, I can do this. And then now with the kids.
This might be my favorite video
Yeah.
of them all. I mean, how cute is that?
You gotta love it.
But not just cute. I mean, what she's actually doing is totally impressive, doing so many of the skills that she actually competed at the World Championships, the Olympic Games. Really kind of proving that age
Yeah.
really is just a number.
Almost 9 years, just about 9 years since she last competed, Tim.
Yeah, nobody should tell Chelsea Memel that her time is up, that it's over. She should move on. She loves what she's doing, and I love seeing it every step of the way.
Midwest will be Sienna Olivia. And coming up next on beam for world champions will be Zoe Miller.
And you don't really have to wonder what Loya Hernandez thinks of her comeback and today. Talk to her, but she lets you know after every event.
She does, and truly just so happy for her. You know, when you see the love and the passion for the sport, like we have on Lori all week here, it's been so fulfilling to be able to watch her on this journey and truly just being out here for herself because she loves it.
All right, the competition continues over on beam. Zoe Miller, the 15-year-old from Spring, Texas. Originally from Hartford, Connecticut.
Also training at the same gym with Simone. There is one of Simone's coaches, Cecile Landy. Oh dear. You know, it looks like she just jumps off, right? But when you are that far off, it doesn't matter what you do, you're coming off the beam.
That wasn't an easy combination, those two skills. You're off on that first one. It's really hard to get back on track. And anytime you come off an event like the balance beam, something that you really have to try to do is pretend like it didn't happen, right? And that's probably one of the hardest things as an athlete in a competition on the balance beam. Blocking something out and just continuing as if it didn't happen. You have to just not think about it, and sometimes that's all you can think about.
Yeah, I used to get mad, and that helped me. And I don't know. Not you?
No, yeah, it depended. Depending on the competition, I guess.
There we go. Big combination into beautiful double pike. She has great qualities, though, I'll tell you.
Kind of moving that shoulder right now. Check on that. Asking if she's okay. Said yes.
Well, every gymnast is playing a little bit hurt at different times, but just way off to the side. You could see that almost from the beginning. Really, on the first skill, the back handspring was drifting a little left.
Now I get to go home and see the marks on my arms. Girls go on.
Huh? Yeah, I'm just happy I tried to make the correction, you know?
You did that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's all that matters. Nothing you can really do after that.
As you hear, Tara, you know,
Come on, Jordan.
in a competition like this, right? Sometimes it's about just trying to make the corrections, being back out here on that competition floor. Everything feels different in a competition versus training.
Yep. And by the way, I know you, and I know part of you feels bad eavesdropping on the conversations. There are microphones out there. So
I know.
They know that.
Come on, Jordan.
Disappointing number 12.15 for Zoe Miller. And overall, again, we've been talking about it, but it's not necessarily because athletes are not doing every one of the events, a lot of them, but Jordan Chiles has been as good as anybody here, end up with the top number.
And her best placement, she was second in the all-around in the nation in 2017. And frankly, I think she looks better today than she did then, absolutely.
Big combination.
Having such a strong competition is going to help her with the people on the selection committees, but it is going to be such a huge confidence booster for her. Go back to that conversation we had, you know, you could just feel that she so badly wants to show the world who she can be as a gymnast. And thus far today, with just one piece of gymnastics left, she has done that brilliantly. Full twisting double. She didn't need to do that, but wow.
Right before the competition, her mom actually tweeted about how nervous she was. She said it's almost time, and I used a few emojis, which I kind of make out to be a little sick to her stomach, nervous. And she said, why do I get this way? She's been doing this for 8 billion years now.
That's the way it goes, competition. Hey, you got a glimpse into what and who Jordan Chiles can be as a gymnast today. That was outstanding. The best of those who competed in all 4 of the events.
Celebrating with the competition being over. Here is that combination, 3 skills in a row, a side aerial to a back layout, step out, spot on.
Her day was phenomenal, but this was a gigantic exclamation point. Full twisting double somersault. Only a handful of gymnasts do this. Great landing as well. Jordan Chiles, you're back.
Celebration and all.
Jordan Chiles is back. So is Lori Hernandez after 4.5 years. Always tell what she's thinking. Look on her face. Even with a mask, you can tell.
Yeah.
Love that effort. Jordan Chiles on beam.
Thank you. Always a silver lining. Hi, guys. Whoever's watching this, where WCC is watching. WCC, love y'all. Did this for y'all. Family out there, love you guys. We did it.
And they were watching. Saw that text earlier today our coach got from Simone Biles after the effort on floor. There's the final number, 14.5. So in terms of those who did compete all the way around, the top number. And right to the phone with a text. Why not? That's what you do today. So Jordan Chiles better than anybody. Going to hear from Lori Hernandez what it was like to come back out here and compete for the first time since Rio as we continue.
And silence like sourdough. So if you didn't know, the Sourdough King is back at Burger King with flame grilled beef, sizzling bacon, and ooey gooey cheese stuffed between 2 toasted sourdough buns. The Sourdough King and Sourdough Breakfast King. Your way, way better.
Taking care of your car is a responsibility. It ensures the long life of your car and its expensive components. That's why Lucas Oil takes automotive protection so seriously. Lucas heavy-duty oil stabilizer bonds with motor oil to shield engines from heat and wear. So take pride in caring for your car and pass that pride and knowledge to the next generation for years of smooth, reliable driving on the long road ahead. Trust Lucas Oil. it works.
Celebrate every day, here I go. I'ma be dripping in gold. I can't keep waiting. Out in the cold, I need a good time. Sunshine, dance in the cold. Celebrate every day, here I go. I'ma be dripping in solid gold. Solid gold, dripping in solid gold. Celebrate every day, here I go. I'ma be dripping in solid gold.
Back to remind you, the PGA Tour's best in Florida this week. The WGC Workday Championship at the Concession comes your way when we are done. Coming up next here on NBC as we wrap things up here in Indianapolis. Someday, first competition in nearly a year. Terry Gannon back with Nastia Liukin and Tim Daggett, and joined now by Laurie Hernandez, who was great to watch out there for the first time. Laurie, in 4.5 years since Rio. Take me through the emotions of the competition today for you.
Hey, yeah, I mean, it definitely has been a really long time since I've competed, so today we went out there with just like super watered down routines so we could dip my toe back in the water and get the feeling of what it feels like to compete again at such a high level. And it went really well. I was excited. Of course, I was nervous, especially expecting people to like see 16-year-old me, and I'm just glad that everybody's able to adapt like I was.
Well, I don't know. For me, it felt like you haven't been gone for that many years. It was just such a joy to be able to see that bubbly personality and the passion and the love that you have for the sport, of course. But now that you have been back out there and put yourself back on the competition floor, what is that next goal? What's next on your list? And kind of take us through what's coming up.
Yeah, I mean, the next goal would definitely be, of course, just to do all 4 events. And we want to upgrade. We've been working on upgrades, whether that be old skills that I've competed before or skills that you haven't seen yet. But yeah, again, this one was kind of just to dip a toe in the water. The next, I don't know, competition or whatever it is. It'll be a little more normal, a little more higher stakes, but I'm really excited about how today went, and I think it, foreshadows a really good meet season.
Laurie, what would be the best thing that you've experienced in this very difficult comeback? It's not easy, right?
No, it's not easy. I mean, my body's changed, my brain has changed, and it's been really nice to kind of relearn myself again and take all these skills and learn it through a new body and a new brain. So I don't know, it's been wonderful. It has really sucked for a long time, and then I'd say within the last couple months, things started to get a little bit better. I got more consistent. It felt more like home again, and now I'm here, so.
Laurie, great to see you back. So many fans happy about the comeback, and best of luck here in the coming months.
Thank you.
All right, Laurie Hernandez, and the comeback this afternoon here in Indianapolis. A reminder, the PGA Tour's spring swing lifting off in Florida. WGC Workday Championship at the Concession coming your way next here on NBC. Hey, great to be back with you guys. This felt
was
really
fun.
good.
So great.
Absolutely. For Nastia and Tim, our entire NBC Sports crew, I'm Terry Gannon saying so long from Indianapolis.
There's no such thing as too much Office. Peacock has supersized, recut episodes with completely new scenes.
Do I look fat in this garbage bag? Be honest.
Maybe a little trashy.
The Office. Every episode, extras, and exclusives. Streaming now at PeacockTV.com. There's no such thing as too much Office. Peacock has supersized, recut episodes with completely new scenes.
Do I look fat in this garbage bag? Be honest.
Maybe a little trashy.
The Office. Every episode, extras, and exclusives. Streaming now at PeacockTV.com.
You have reached the end of your social feed. Here's an idea. Go play. You can book a quick 9-hole round with friends and safely reconnect with civilization. Golf now. Go play. You have reached the end of your social feed. Here's an idea. Go play. You can book a quick 9-hole round with friends and safely reconnect with civilization. Golf now. Go play.